So Anthony,
Hey.
good to have you.
Hey.
Good to eat lunch with you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude.
Here.
Well, I'm not
It's nice.
having you. I'm having crackers and cheese right
It's
now.
nice to eat lunch once.
Yeah, I know. We never get to eat lunch together. Last week we ate lunch with Borif. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he eat?
Your face. What? You didn't care for it?
Made a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, it was a good time.
Anthony's been gone for a while.
Yeah,
have?
I've been out a minute.
I hear you reproduced.
Yeah, I had a kid.
Oh, okay. That's a much.
Oh, I thought you were saying you heard him while he was reproducing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if
Can we
Anthony's
stop
allowed.
talking about gross stuff while I'm eating?
I know. I didn't mean to spoil everyone's.
Yeah,
lunch.
it's been an adventure, man. The last 3 weeks have just been a blur. And,
Wait, so you had sex or you had a baby?
Which one is it?
well, both.
And he heard both? Wait, he was listening in on both?
Both in that order, actually. Yeah, man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I should have like
Making babies
bloodshot
hard
eyes
work.
right now.
Yeah.
Making
I was up last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, which doesn't sound that bad. Then I was up at 3:30. Then I was up at 6. So it's like every 2 or 3 hours. It's
Do you have you
Doing what?
Yeah, what is going on?
taking care of a baby, man. Come on.
what?
Put the
Don't
baby
you
to
just give
sleep.
him
All right, baby's crying. What do you do?
Right.
Pick him up.
give him a sedative?
We've
Pat him
all
on the
seen
back.
Look Who's Talking, buddy. We don't need your tutorials. Right?
That's right.
Listen, baby's hungry, but you don't change the diaper yet. Because as soon as you feed him, that little shit's gonna shit.
Okay.
So you feed him first, let him shit, then you change.
Do you ever
the
talk to your baby like, you little shit? You better not shit. Or is it too early yet? Are you
little
not that
asshole.
comfortable?
I raged once so far.
Oh, okay.
And I got in trouble.
Really?
I got in trouble, yeah.
With the wife?
Yeah,
She
the wife was
wasn't
like
a fan
not
of
having it. So I was like, biting my tongue.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Were you slapping it? Or?
Holding it up and upside down, just shaking it.
No,
Trying
man.
to get us lunch money?
I got a lot of patience for a lot of things.
But not babies.
But not
man.
babies or Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Babies and Call of Duty is my weak spot.
That would be like the ultimate if you were holding your baby and getting destroyed on Call of Duty at the same time.
No.
You'd just be like, that's a nuclear bomb
Well,
waiting to go
Blue
off.
used to play with his son in his lap. He would play Call of Duty with us with his son.
Well,
in his
yeah.
lap. And I don't know how he did it, man. Well, Blue's really good at the game.
And now his kid plays with Blue on his lap now.
Right.
Yeah. Xavier's huge. Maybe not that big, but he is growing up a bit. But
Yeah.
he plays COD, and he can barely hold holding the Xbox controller for him is like it's like holding a 17-inch laptop.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but he actually
He's confident?
yeah, I saw Blue showed me a video of him playing.
Got
It's
some
like
damage.
he's looking around corners and
Yeah.
It's awesome.
he's a little slow to react still, just because it is like moving the joysticks like this.
Yeah.
I'm firing the trigger.
He has to use his whole arm. He's like, well, if it's not, and that's not even the original Xbox controller. God, that travesty.
Oh,
I can't even.
The Duke.
It'd be like holding a.
I used
27-inch
to
TV.
buy those and stockpile them because I loved them.
Yeah.
I hated the S controller. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Well, see,
crazy.
Blue spoiled his kid, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Because he let him jump straight to Call of Duty. My kid's gotta earn it. I'm starting him off at like
What do you
Mario
get?
Brothers.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
You gotta work your way up. He's gotta at least experience some of this other stuff because kids download stuff on iPhones and iPads and stuff
Right.
now. And there's so many free games and stuff that they can just try out.
Yeah.
So I have no appreciation for any games, man.
It is. It's
brutal.
I like the way you're raising your kid.
Yeah,
That is-
dude.
that is
So you
smart.
gotta earn it. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to play Call of Duty, that's great. But there's like 90 games you gotta
I
play.
like that we get behind this, but not the diaper changing.
yeah.
No. He fucking cares. But what game's he gonna play?
That's the most important stuff.
Nobody
man.
wants to hear about
You
the
should
diaper
jump him
changing.
straight into like hardcore.
Yeah,
just like-
Hardcore.
Whoa,
what? Hardcore what?
We're still talking about games, right?
Oh yeah, like hardcore games. That's right.
This is how you were made.
H1, H2.
When a man loves a woman,
Speaking of that
he
conversation,
dresses up like a secretary and then asks for a raise from daddy. Daddy says, maybe, is there anything you can do for me? And that's how you were made. son.
when you had the talk with your parents, how did the talk go down with? I know some people who never had it, like their parents never ended up
mean
doing it for them.
the talk,
the
the
talk,
sex
the
talk?
talk, the sex talk.
Well, it
yeah.
always goes like this. Well, son, and then you're like, Dad, I already know.
He's like,
Yeah.
Good talk.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a good point.
We'll revisit.
It's like, Dad, I've been looking at
few
my,
years.
Playboys for the last year and a half.
No, I think
so-
you were. I think you
But
just
I've
had
been looking at your
whatever.
Playboy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
My Playboy. I'm 12 years
Or
old.
I found some in bushes off by the by the reservoir.
I don't know,
I had
man.
an
I mean,
uncle
kids
who-
are smart, so
They are. I had an uncle who was subscribed to Playboy since like the late 60s, early 70s. And he had them all stockpiled in his garage. Boxes and boxes and boxes. And I remember when I first
Did you feel
discovered
like
it.
Indiana
It's a gold
Jones?
mine, right?
Gold. It's just like, yeah.
Just light
Weighing
from
them.
the box.
He'll never know this one from the bottom is missing.
And they were all like near mint condition.
Wow.
I mean, and as nice as you can keep them like in a
Like
box.
Marilyn
but they
Monroe
were-
on the cover.
Yeah. Old school.
I was like, damn, I was impressed. His boxes just all stacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a really awkward story where I was at Thanksgiving at my uncle's house once, and we were
Oh,
taking.
boy. Already awkward.
This is already bad.
That's how
we do this every
a
single
lot
year.
of awkward stories start.
And we usually watch football on television, right? Thanksgiving, you watch the football games. And we're all standing, everyone's back is to the television except mine because I'm assisting putting people where they're going to take the picture.
And you felt 2 fingers probing your bum.
No.
No? Oh, okay, go ahead.
They said they were checking your
And
temperature.
and my niece has the remote. She's like 6 at the time, and she's flipping channels, right? And I'm not paying any attention, and she puts the remote down, and I can't really see because people are blocking the television. But then I hear like, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And no one else, they're talking so loud, no one's gonna hear. I look over, and the Spice Channel, which
Oh,
my
God.
uncle failed to, I don't know, program out of the television, is going on, and it is some hardcore shit. Like, there's no, like, you can't look at that and be like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
It is dirty, and I don't know what to. So if I'm like, hey guys, we need to change that, everyone's gonna turn around and see it, and it's gonna be even more awkward. So literally, there's this 5-minute sequence. Where excuse
You
me,
went into bullet time?
right, where it's like slow mo. Like, what do I do? So I basically, they're taking pictures while the Spice Channel is going on behind them. They're blocked, luckily, and I just didn't. I pretended I didn't know what was happening. And then finally, one of my aunts turned around. And she was like, "Oh my god!" She was like trying to turn it off as quick as
Yeah,
possible, but I played dumb. But I knew what was happening the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Wow, super weird, super
awesome.
awkward.
I thought you were gonna run and throw a VHS in there, hit record.
Let me get this. That's for me. My uncle wasn't even
back
embarrassed.
to
He's like, and my aunt was like, Joe, what you get this channel? He's like, no, it must be. He was like, it must be a mistake.
Making
It was a
shit up.
promotion. It must be a mistake. And all the guys were like, yeah, okay, Joe.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Channel
Oh,
970.
that's awesome.
Exactly. He's like, I told him to take it off. I told him.
I remember trying to see through the scrambled porn.
Totally.
Like you'd watch
Oh, yeah.
it, and you're
Yeah.
like, come on, and every now and then it would
It
be
would
like
come
just
clear.
fingers off. You're like,
get that little burst. Little pleasure hit. Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
was
so
always
funny.
like the scene from Top Gun. My parents were like covering.
Oh yeah.
Don't look, don't look. I'm like, now I go back and watch that scene. You're like, they're just making out.
Yeah, my mom still does that to me. Don't look, don't look. Come on.
Yeah,
don't think
kids are too smart though, man. I mean, especially nowadays, everything's at your fingertips. So it's like
You can just Google sex
It's-
at like
it's
age 4.
super
And get
dangerous.
more intel
Yeah.
than probably any of us even know about it.
that's the
Don't know,
thing,
like some-
man.
go
Like
to the
I'm
Wiki-
keeping my kid away from iPads and
Yeah.
laptops and stuff for a while. You know.
Even like
'Cause-
Wikipedia.
I mean,
you
it's
go-
easy
you go
now
wiki
because they don't know
something.
what those things are, but once they.
Well, back in the day when the internet was coming up, we were like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, my friend did it. It wasn't me. You
That's
know?
true.
But
That's true.
Shit, come on.
Yeah, it was always your friend with
AOL
the computer.
6.0.
6.0.
But
Dial-up. Yeah, dial-up, porn and dial-up was just a nightmare, man. God, those were people so spoiled now. They're like torrents, torrents. They're like, oh, this is taking too long, or like streaming porn.
yeah.
You're like, wow, it's real rough on my broadband connection. What is that face
no.
for? You don't have anything
I just
to
don't know. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't have anything to
No.
say to that? Okay.
Yeah, we went from babies to
To
something
porn,
else.
yeah. I don't-
Porn is
Well-
really that easy to find nowadays?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get internet till I was like almost out of college, so I didn't really get
You must have been on. That must have been like a buffet though. You must have just
I was
gotten
kind of
dirty
bummed
with
out I
it.
didn't get it sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
I was living in Juneau, Alaska at the time, and I was out in the woods. Don't ask. Oh, no. Another beginning to many awkward stories. And me and my friend found what I didn't know until later was like the torn up remnants of a Playboy.
Oh, okay.
But the top page. Because we're in the office, man. This is a place of business.
I don't care. We'll be fine.
I found the top page of this little pile was just a close-up of a pussy.
I like that you're whispering.
And I didn't know at that range.
Right, you can't
I didn't
tell what it is.
recognize the anatomy. No,
You're like, it's not an armpit?
I didn't know what
Where
it
is
was.
this going?
I don't know. It looked sort of. I mean, it looked like maybe like a wound or something.
Oh my god.
Like it was disgusting. I was like, oh my god. I hope they're okay. And then you rifle through the rest, and you're like, oh, okay.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I still didn't know what that thing was, but I was like, oh, the rest of this book is good, though. No, it wasn't until way later that I found out what that was a picture of.
Wait,
Like, uncomfortably.
Were you like
Where
in a
did you-
library and you were like,
Where did you find this?
It was
in Alaska.
It was in a
Just in a-
forest,
What do you
man,
mean
in
in a forest?
Alaska.
It was just torn up, just
what do you
thrown on the
think
ground
is in
somewhere?
Alaska's forest?
Like a bear just...
Trees, bears, porn, murder.
Dead bodies.
No, my,
Oh boy,
my pro
truer
tip,
than I'd like to.
my pro tip was going to antique shops to piggyback off your uncle's story when you discovered your gold mine. Go to antique shops and they had stacks
Oh, really?
of like old Playboys that people were trying to collect or whatever. And I was like, somebody, my parents or whoever's over there looking at antiques, and I'm like, yeah,
You know, we were checking them out.
cool.
Literature.
Buying
December.
them by the stacks.
December, huh? Yeah.
tell me I'm not the only one when I was younger when you'd walk into like a 7-Eleven or convenience store and the ones that sell the whatever,
stuff.
Playboy and those other ones, and just kind of like casually like browsing for other things.
Browsing.
I'd walk by, just be like, yeah, what's that over there? I would never pick
Yeah.
them up, but I always like when you're
I'm trying to picture.
it's the most
This is before
awkward.
they bagged them, right?
Inconspicuous.
Before yeah, probably.
Blocked the covers.
And block the covers. Yeah, there was a lot of stores in my
the
hometown.
employee behind the counter is like,
I wonder what he's doing. Like, what am I doing by the magazine?
And you're pointing to try and
I'm like,
throw him off. So it's like the porn's here, but you're like, yeah.
Esquire,
Ruffle the pages.
Sports Illustrated.
I'm pointing to like Black Men's Journal.
You're just holding a magazine. You're not even.
It probably looked that awkward. It probably looked that.
And you're
obvious.
just sweating.
What would he?
They probably would have sold it to you. They're just worried about you jacking them, probably.
Well, they
Or jacking
can they
it.
sell porn?
Or staining them.
It's real creepy in 7-Elevens after about 2 a.m.
Yeah, it is.
My old roommate, Crazy Josh, used to work at. Well, I think he still does. Maybe he's homeless now. I don't know. Actually, he was homeless for a little while, but he worked at a gas station. Man, the stories. So I would go from work. I was waiting tables at Olive Garden, like Hutch used to do, and I'd go from work, pick up food, meet him because he had graveyard shift. I'd meet him at the gas station. We would just hang out until I went home, went to sleep, and he'd get off at like 7 in the morning. But we had the most amazing experiences at like between the hours of like 3 and 5 at that gas station. Unbelievable.
It's like a portal opens.
While I was there, these aren't even stories he told me. He has even better stories. But while I was there, there was a 2-hooker. There was a 2-hooker prostitution ring, they called it. I'm like, I don't know if 2 hookers makes up a ring. You might need at least 3, but it was a 2-hooker ring busted, like doing Johns in the bathroom
Of that gas
of the
station?
gas station. So they'd meet at this parking lot for this shady hotel in the back, and then they'd bring their Johns into the gas station, like that
wow.
shit.
That is, wow.
And I had seen these ladies around, but man.
I thought you meant they were doing it in the gas station bathroom, like asking for the key with the spatula attached to it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No, this place is too. There was no lock. The bathroom is
okay.
like painted in urine and feces. It was disgusting. But they're in there. Some guys are in there getting, I don't know, like a $750 bang. I don't know how cheap it must have been,
God.
but so the cops busted these hookers. I was there once when an avalanche pulled up,
Yeah.
filled with, it looked like bales of hay, right?
Okay.
And these two, this is in like the North County of San Diego, right? So heavily like Hispanic area, and these motherfuckers, some of these mofos are fucking dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So two guys come in, and they're not cholos. They're like straw cowboy hat, but real crisp. It looks like field hands going like dressed up for a night out. That's what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
And you know that we're just in there eating our food, hanging out, having the chuckles, and these guys they're like buying gas and smokes. Josh looks out, and then he's like, look out at the truck. So the guy in the passenger seat of the truck is holding an AK-47.
What?
Oh, wow.
Just not like out, but it's just up enough. You can see the banana clip, and he's like got his head on a swivel. And as the dudes go out after they paid for their stuff, this whiff of like marijuana comes through the door,
God.
and Josh is like, I think that's like hundreds of pounds of
Marijuana
weed in that truck.
Holy shit.
And they climb in the back of the avalanche, and I was like, that's cool. And he's like, I know those two that came in here. I'm like, dude, yeah, he's never seen the truck, but I was like, that's fucking crazy. Wow. It's
Jesus.
crazy.
Gas
There's
station,
like
man.
insane shit. He's got even more stories, but those are the ones that happened while I was there.
Drug cartels right there.
Yeah,
pulling
just
up.
driving through. San
Yeah.
Diego. That's
Going
nuts.
to one of their little Oompa Loompa music dancing clubs. Los Tigres del Norte. Oh shit.
You did live in San Diego.
Yeah, swings like, yeah, exactly.
You do feel awkward though going to the gas stations like in the middle of the night, like really late at night, and there's nobody there, and you see the attendant behind the bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
And you're like speaking through the little hole.
Right.
Yeah, can I get $2 on
$2
or whatever?
$2.
Yeah, can I buy that Coke behind you?
Yeah.
Make it quick.
Yeah.
I want to leave. I want to get
feels-
out of here.
It just feels
hate this
freaking
place.
dangerous,
Super
man.
depressing, yeah.
It's eerie. It's eerie.
Everyone, that's the truth. Like every time I've ever been at a gas station late and there's like an attendant and one other person in there, I always assume at any point he's gonna pull out a gun and shoot and try to either shoot both of us and rob the place.
Because the guy's seen hell, probably, you know.
Just a few months ago, I saw a car get stolen.
Ooh.
I was at a red light at Sepulveda and Burbank. There's a little gas station right there. And I hear a commotion at the gas station there on the corner, and a guy runs out. I'm like, I'm just like, oh, maybe he shoplifted. That was like my thought. Maybe he's just in a hurry, and the commotion I heard was just like city bustle. He hops in the truck, peels out, takes off, and I see the gas hose get yanked out. It's like, I'm like, holy shit, that's epic. And then it got really epic when a dude ran out on foot screaming, that's my truck. And
No way.
so some dude had just run out, hopped in a truck that was getting gassed,
Wow.
chased by the dude,
Dude.
the other guy.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
But wait, so
that
the
is
guy,
some next level.
that is fucked up shit.
What kind of position in life?
Did that guy leave the keys in the ignition?
You
or
got
what?
me, man.
That is
you got me. Maybe,
no.
but maybe he had like shoved the guy around out of sight or something. Maybe he'd like roughed him up.
Yeah.
I've fantasized about doing that many times when I see
Just
people leave
jumping
their
in a car?
keys in their car.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a really nice car at a gas station, be like, what if I just jumped in there? Left my car and just took off.
Or about like a squad car, because they always leave the keys. There was one time I got home.
I've thought about that. A
Yeah,
couple
right.
times.
I got home pretty early in the morning one time, and there was a police car parked across the street with the ignition on. Like the car's running, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I get in, take a shower, take a nap, whatever. I get up, go outside, look out the window, and the car's still there running. It had been running for at least 3 or 4 hours.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell? Just sitting there.
Just
I'm like,
radio chatter inside the car.
yeah, you can hear every once in a while the fan turns on.
Really?
I'm like, man, I would love to jump in there and just take off. Then just dump it somewhere down and just walk back.
Part of me is like, you arrogant prick.
Right?
Part of me.
Yeah.
I don't even really hate cops, but I'm like, you just park your car and you just leave. Leave the door
Just
open.
like, yeah, go ahead and take my car.
With the engine running, it's like
I'll teach you.
That's like every time I see a cop like going like 30 miles an hour with his lights on, just partying traffic like the Red Sea because he can, because they know he doesn't have anywhere to get to. He's just wants to drive through. I get so mad, and then I'm like, but if that was me, I'd be doing that every single day, everywhere I went.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him.
So one time, this was a while ago, my sister was telling me the story. She came home from school one day, and she was like kind of a little rattled, a little scared, and I'm like, she actually immediately wanted to tell me what happened. What happened was she was walking to go eat something after school, and a cop passes by, real slow, just cruises by on a cell phone. And my sister, she's a loud mouth. See, sometimes she mouths off. She, out loud, enough for him to hear, said, "Look, he's talking on the phone when he's driving. Why don't they give him a ticket?" So she keeps walking. The cop pulls over, stops, gets out, and calls her over and says, "Come here." And then she's like, "Yeah." he's like, "I heard what you said." And I just want you to know that we're all exempt from that law. If you look in the code, and he pulled out some little booklet, and starts pulling some page out and says right here.
Bullshit.
It says right here.
It's written in crayon.
On page 30, it's crossed out.
It's blackout forever. No quitsies.
It also says, in the event of an emergency,
Probably
cops can use a cell phone.
But yeah, basically she said that the cop told her they don't have to. They're exempt from all those laws. So
I've had
that always kind of.
I've had epic luck with cops. I feel like cops in LA. I'm sure it depends on the area of LA. I know it does.
And your skin color.
And my skin color. Thank you.
Yep.
But I'm just saying because on the East Coast, like it doesn't matter. Like it does matter, but they don't usually give you the time of day. You can't talk your way out of anything. I feel like on the East Coast, especially in Philly, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You're done. Here I've been on the highway cruising at 80 over the speed limit on my cell phone, and. I'm in the zone. I'm not paying any attention. A cop pulls up to me, and I can see that someone's been like right next to me for like the last 2 minutes. I'm not thinking of it. I look over, and the cop is literally just staring at me, hard mugging. Like, are you really doing this right now? You're going above the speed limit and on your cell phone as I'm riding next to you. He had like a PA megaphone thing on the top of his car, and I literally look at him, and it was like a contrite kid. I was like. I'm sorry. I literally mouthed, "I'm sorry" to him. I put my phone down, and he literally is like, just shakes his head, and on his megaphone he's like, "Please do not use your cell phone and drive." Please. Like, you can hear it across the highway, and then he just speeds off, and I was like, holy shit.
Takes off.
I could have gotten $400 worth of tickets right there, easily.
They can suspend your license too.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
to go over 80.
Yeah, and I had another example where my car was out of registration. It wasn't even registered in the state of California. It was out of registration in PA. I was breaking all kinds of laws.
And you didn't have a California driver's license.
I did have a California driver's license, though.
Okay.
So it's late one night. I'm coming back from somewhere. It's like 1 o'clock. This cop, I knew, it was just a matter of time. I was basically in my mind, I was like, I'm going to get busted at some point, so I'm just going to push this as far as I can. Don't ask me why.
Makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense instead of just taking care of it.
The perfect criminal.
I'm going to get busted. And literally, I see the lights go on. The cop follows me, just pulls right up. I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm going to get my car towed. I was like, I hope not, but in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I can talk my way out of it. I don't know what I'm thinking. He comes over, and he's like, are you lost, sir? I'm like, no, I'm not lost, because he sees PA a long way from Pennsylvania. He's like, yeah, Pennsylvania's that way. He's like, Pennsylvania's that way.
I took a wrong turn about 80 hours ago. I haven't slept. I've been so worried about it. What is that big lake?
So I'm like, no, officer. I was like, I'm just heading home. He's like, oh, headed home. He's like, do you live in Los Angeles? I'm like, yeah. He's like, let me see your license. So I give him my license, and I have a California license that's pretty new.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. He's like, how long have you been in the state? I'm like, a year and 2 months.
Oh, man.
And he's like, you're supposed to get your car registered within 10 days of being. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I do. And I was like, and I'm not gonna lie to you, officer. I screwed up. I screwed up real bad. It was like in some bad soap opera. And he's like,
But you were planning this.
I was, but this is what my plan of
counting
attack
on
was.
this.
The fact that it worked is total coincidence.
Sure.
And he was like, all right. I was like, honestly, I will get my car registered. I was like, if you can do anything for me, I'd appreciate it. And he's like, all right. So he goes back to his car, makes me wait like typical cop for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, who knows? Yeah. He comes back, he's like, you're lucky I'm in a good mood tonight. He's like, because I could tow your car. He's like, but I'm not going to since you admitted guilt. I don't know, like he had some like, he was like glad that I didn't try to bullshit my way out of it.
Right.
So he's like, what I'm going to do is give you this. He gave me this like pink slip. So basically I have to appear in court and I either pay a fine or get my car registered, which I already got my car registered. So he said, if you just show them that you're good and you won't have to pay anything. I was like, whew. I was like, that worked out. So I am.
So you
kind of-
haven't been to court yet?
No, that's next
this
month.
is current events.
So yeah,
Okay.
I got to show up at
going to
8:30.
court.
So
Sweet.
raise your hand if you've had a cop pull a gun on you.
What? Are you serious? Both of you?
I'll keep my story quick.
Mine's dumb. I don't even need to tell
I was
it.
going snowboarding. And I was on my way up to the mountain. It was like middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m. because we wanted to get a good early start. So we got all kinds of weird stuff in the back of my truck, and it's me and my cousin. And the short of it is, my truck, the previous owner of my truck, had a warrant out for his arrest.
Yeah.
So the cop that saw my license plate thought
God.
it was that
right,
guy.
Right. And you didn't know this at the time?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pulled me over into like a Del Taco or whatever, and 2 cops come up the side of my truck with guns pulled,
Oh
and
my
I'm looking in the
God.
mirror at
Shit.
them like,
You're like,
oh my
I'm gonna
God,
die.
like what the hell? I'm like I'm not scared because I don't think they're gonna shoot me, but I'm a little concerned,
I
obviously,
would've been like, I'm dead.
because he had the gun out, dude.
Jesus,
both of
yeah.
them did on both sides, and I looked over at my cousin. and I was just like, don't say anything stupid.
Did you quickly rummage through your glove compartment looking for your paperwork?
Nonchalant.
No, but they're doing the flashlight thing and looking in the back, and there's all kinds of what is probably looks suspicious. It's my snowboard and all kinds of equipment that we had to go to the mountains,
Jeez, dude.
So yeah, it took like half an hour to clear it all up and stuff, but that was a little hairy.
Yeah, that'd be scary. Right there.
So-
What about you, sir?
I was TPing houses with my friends in middle school.
In middle school.
The cop drove by with his spotlight out. Apparently somebody must have called. They saw us. We ran. I ran like a gazelle, like an African gazelle, easily hurdling fences to safety and freedom, hiding in the perfect shrubbery. And then my friend, not as elegant or graceful, and wearing for the time, a pretty fashionable neon green shirt, hopped into my shrubbery to hide with me.
No, what an idiot.
So the cop drove by and just
like a light bulb.
Yeah, it looks like a glow in the dark watermelon. So he runs out. He comes out. He saw that it was kids, but so he didn't have his gun out yet. But he put us up against the fence, and I'd forgotten that I was in the panic. I'd forgotten that because we were doing a really solid TP job, so I had like duct tape and a huge knife.
Oh,
God.
And I forgot that I had the knife like tucked into the waist of my pants, and so his partner's frisking me, and he just shouts when right as I'm about to, like, I remember it, and I'm like, and right as he finds it, he shouts, he's got a knife, and his partner who's watching pulls the gun out. It was real quick. They disarmed me.
like you're gonna.
Like I'm a samurai.
Punched you over the back of the head.
The only thing in my pants was a knife and a pile of shit. Fear shit.
Yeah.
That was it.
I was at a mobile gas station right by my house, filling up my car.
Yeah.
And this little old lady comes out, and she looks very frazzled. At first, I think she's homeless, but she's not homeless. She has like a purse and everything, and she has like a cane. And I'm like, so not that if it was homeless, I wouldn't have
Clear
done
sign
anything.
of not being
Like
home.
Sherlock Holmes.
See that? It's just like
Yeah.
I'm calculating all these things very quickly.
She has a purse.
She had a purse. So she comes over to me, all frazzled. She's like, excuse me. She's like, do you think you could take me down to the next gas station? I missed the bus, and I'm trying to get to this to a doctor's appointment. So I'm like, what am I gonna say? No. So I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, I can take you. And it was literally right down the street. It was only like a quarter mile. So she gets in my car. I drop her. And then she unloads on me about all of the problems she's having.
Of course.
About how.
Jeez.
Yeah.
About how she missed her bus. I can tell she's in bad shape physically. So she couldn't. She's like, I can't get there. And
The cane told you that.
The cane.
Her left shoe was slightly more worn due to a mild limp.
Exactly. And that she has to take 3 buses to get to this clinic that's in West Hollywood or something like that. Just that, that it's like a 2-hour affair.
Right.
And she says West Hollywood, so I'm like, this is where I should have just killed it right here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting that, that thing that you have, that conscience where you're like, I can't, if I let her out here, this is going to come back to bite me. Because this is like karma telling me, you've had some good shit happen to you. You need to repay it. if that ever happens, you guys know, squelch that shit.
Such a pleaser.
It is
Such
not.
a pleaser.
It's not worth it. No, it wasn't. It was that I wouldn't be able to. I would spend the whole day being like, I really fucked that woman over. I could have just dropped her off right by my work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. I don't owe her anything.
What an insane guilt conflict.
Yeah.
I
it's
blame
more so
organized
more about-
religion. Go on.
It is. It is
Go on.
absolutely organized religion. But so I'm like, I hope my fucking. I'm like, well. I'm actually going that way, and if you don't mind, I'm picking up Chris Lockey, Duke of Earl, on the way to work. And I'm like, I have to pick up my friend, but if you're okay, if you're okay with that, I can drop you off on the way. And she's like, oh, that'd be great. Thank you very much. So as we're driving over to Chris's house, she starts unloading me even more of her life story.
Oh boy.
And I find out that she's going to a mental clinic. It's not just a health clinic; it's a health and mental services. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to start freaking out. I'm like, it's all good. She then proceeds to tell me that she's on methadone, heavy doses. And I'm literally, as I'm driving, I'm like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. So I get to the house. Chris is like, has no idea what's going on. She's sitting in the front seat. I'm like, hey, what's up, Chris? And his face is like, what the hell is happening? So he gets in the back, and I'm like, Chris, this is Suzanne. And I had gotten her name wrong, and she goes, it's not She like freaks out. She goes, it's not Suzanne, it's Suzette. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I gotta abandon ship. This is
Did one like strong blood rivulet come
Yeah.
out of one of her nostrils?
And I was like, well, that was an odd outburst. And Chris is like, oh shit. So we're driving, and then she tells me, she's like, so we're going to, it's on the corner of Sepulveda and Irwin. And I'm like, wait a minute. West Hollywood, that's not, I was like, no, that's like
like really
45
far.
minutes the
Yeah.
other direction. So I'm like, I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what I'm gonna do. At this point, I'm mentally frazzled. So I start going like I'm going to work, and this woman is like a paranoid, I think schizophrenic. So she thinks that I'm like taking her somewhere to kill her. And she's like, where are you going? Where are you going? As we're driving, and Chris is in the back. Chris literally for the whole time doesn't open his mouth once. And he's just witnessing this train wreck in the front seat. And she's like, I think, what are you doing? So literally it's like a switch. She goes from like this nice old
Freaks
lady
out, yeah.
to this like, I'm like, this woman is demon possessed in my front
God.
seat. And I don't know what voices are speaking to her. So she's like, get off, get off. So I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, all right, fuck, I gotta get her out of my car. So I
Yeah.
pull over. She's like, put me back to the gas station that you brought me to. And she's like freaking out. And I'm like trying to come around. I'm like, all right. I'm like, fine, all right. If you don't, I was just trying to help. She's like, no, you weren't. She's like freaking out on me. Hey, I'm just looking back at Chris, and Chris is like, oh my God.
Wow.
So I pull over to the gas station.
You went back.
I was like, fuck, I gotta get her out of the car. I was tempted to be like, I wasn't gonna pull over and be like, get the fuck out of my car.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
But even after this woman who I'm trying to help has berated me,
Nope.
I still take her back to the original place. I'm like,
Yep.
I have this duty. I'm like, what am I doing? So I drop her off. As she gets out of the car, she's like, I'm gonna get your license plate and call the police. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I can tell she's gonna get out of my car real slow. She gets out of my car like super slow, like crawls out. I'm like, I know you're gonna try to read my license plate. Go ahead, call the cops. What do you? So she goes over. She's like, she reads it. I can tell she reads it. She comes back over. She's like, I got everything. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I just fucking take off, and that's it.
Wow.
And that is the last time I ever try to do anything good for anyone in this
the
city,
elderly,
dude.
man.
That's it. Never picking anyone up
Wow.
again. So all I have, but I forgot to say at the very end, so before she got out of the car, I'm trying to calm her down still, and I still forget. I still couldn't understand what her name was. I swear to God, the first time she got in the car, she told me her name was Suzanne.
Because Suzanne did.
Suzanne did get into my car. And then, so like in an attempt to calm her down, as she's getting out, I'm like, I'm sorry. And I say it again. I'm like, I'm sorry, Suzanne, but I was trying to help you out. And this time, she fucking like loses it. She's like, it's Suzanne! Like screaming.
God,
And Chris is, and I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, so I had that one final shot. I felt like, hey, I got a little bit. I don't even know your name. Get out of my car.
Good job. You really schooled her.
I really showed her.
She shouted your ass all over the city, and you're like, I'll call you Suzanne. Tag in, bitch.
So what was the lesson you learned?
The lesson I learned is don't ever pick up anyone you don't know in LA. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And don't try to do anything nice for anyone because it'll always backfire. So those are the two things I go
Agreed.
away with.
Agreed.
Oh man, yeah. God.
In LA is probably
Yeah.
the key word there.
Right.
Because I helped a guy out in the San Diego area, and he was
fine?
actually pretty. It was actually a guy who fell down,
Okay.
and he was an amputee.
Wow.
Oh,
And I was
jeez.
like, wow,
Yeah,
dude,
that's kind of like you
how could
can't
I not help that guy?
Fell down real hard, huh?
But just for a
Oh my god.
for a split second, I was thinking like, is this guy trying to jack my wallet? Like, if I go help him get up, like, is he gonna, like,
Was he chewing on your back pocket or something?
I don't know. You just think.
off. I gotta
watch
you
his
just
teeth.
think like this kind of stuff doesn't come up all the time. So.
No, you're right. You're right.
Anyway, I helped him up and he was fine. So
That's good.
It worked out. But that's because I wasn't in LA.
That's
If I was in LA, I wouldn't have done it.
You would have watched him crawl on the
I'm
floor.
like, nope. Crawl, sucker.
He's crawling.
Floating around like a tumbleweed. You're a real warm-hearted fella.
Yeah.
Sure.
oh man. Well,
Well, good lunch.
yeah, good. Wow.
Good lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't
I've
make the
learned a
same
lot.
mistakes I made
I've learned
this
a lot
week.
being on the show. So.
Good. All right. Well, all right. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.